Hello, and welcome back to the podcast that God gave me, Talk by Faith. So, this week's episode is going to be really short, okay? It's going to be more focused on reflection and being more intentional with our topic today, which is what has the Lord done for you? And so, how I got here was maybe I think almost 2 weeks ago now. I went to this service, and this pastor started talking about like how amazing his father was to him and the things that things that he did for him. And so God brought to my remembrance. He was like, you remember when you were little and you and your dad used to say like, I love you to each other, and we would go back and forth like about who loves each other more. But I forgot at what age he started doing this thing where he would ask me at the end, like, how do you know that I love you? And I'm not sure what age I was when he gave me what the answer was supposed to be, or I guessed it right. But that from that day on, that was always the answer. And the answer was always because of what you do for me. And so, like, in that moment, my dad was always teaching me that, like, love is more than just a word, it's an action. Like, how is somebody actually showing you that they love you? Are they there when you need them? Are they offering you support in any type of way, emotional, mental, financial, whatever it is? Like, how do people show you that they love you? It's more than just a word, it's an action. And so then I started thinking, okay, I like that memory. That's a great memory. But God was like, I want you to basically tell my people to think about, like, what have I done for them? So of course there's like these big amazing things that God has done for us. That God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, so that anyone who believes in him should have everlasting life, and none shall perish. The thing is, like, what about the small intentional things that he does for us? Like when we ask for something and pass it in a prayer, and we don't really think much of it until he does it for us. Or maybe we are looking for something around the house and we go, God, please just show me where it could be. And he shows us, or he brings it to our remembrance. Like those little itty bitty minute details that we don't even really think about. But like just being more intentional about what he's doing in our lives, the little blessings, and being thankful for that. That's why I said this is more like reflective, but I also want to share testimonies because it's more than just saying what you should do, but also showing you what that might look like. So to pray. That's what it is. Give me a second. All right, we're back. So usually when I Uber, I get paid through the app. I don't do cash drives often, but sometimes I do get them. So on this particular day, I got a cash drive and it was $20. So I was like, okay, cool. Love that for me. So later on in that day, I ended up seeing like this address that I recognized. I was like, I've been over here a few times actually, but I couldn't remember if it was from when I used to DoorDash or from Uber. But then I started riding through there. It's like, I actually did a pickup here not too long ago. So then I get to the person that I'm supposed to be picking up, and I'm like, I did pick up this person actually quite recently. I'm like, this dude look real familiar. So he gets in the backseat, he's on the phone, and he's talking, and I don't listen to people while they're on the phone or if they're talking to somebody in the back seat, but like the conversation was loud enough for me to hear it. But I just mind my business, but it sounded like he was having financial issues. So I was like, okay. And then I heard the Lord say, give him the money that you just got. And I'm like, but God, like, I really need that money. Like, that's $20. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do something with some $20. That's gas right there. God was like, just give it. I got you. So then he gets off the phone and he notices me. He's like, oh my goodness, you just picked me up a couple days ago. I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. I was like, I thought this place seemed familiar, and I definitely remember seeing you before. So then he was just like talking to me. He was like, man, like my car stuck at this place, and it take money to get that, and it's almost the first of the month, so then now I gotta pay for my rent and all this other stuff. And he was like, but no, God has been really blessing me, like. And then he told me about this man that stopped him because I guess he works for like some type of delivery service. And he was like, and this man just stopped my truck and like came over and gave me $20. And I was like, oh my goodness, well, that's my confirmation, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how much money I had on me. Then he was telling me about another woman that stopped him and like gave him like $90 or like maybe 100 or something like that. And he was like, I don't even have a job where like I'm supposed to be getting tipped. Like it's not a occurrence or everyday occurrence that I get tipped on this job. So he said, God has really been blessing me. And then so I'm like talking, I was like, yeah, that's great. Like, I love that the Lord is listening to you, showing you that he's going to, provide for you no matter what it is, and in different type of ways. And the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, dang, like I'm about to be I'm about to get you something too. So, I got really, really nervous. But, like, I took him to his drop-off location. I said, before you leave, like, I just want to add to your testimony because, the Lord told me to give you this money. And he was like, oh, my goodness, like, y'all trying to make me emotional. But, like, thank you so much. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be praying for you. And I hope everything goes well for you. So then I had a back-to-back ride. So I couldn't stop in that moment and pray for him. But I dropped him off and I prayed for him right after he left my car. And in that moment, like after that, I was like, dang, I wish I had a guest pass to my church to have given him with that. But, God always makes a way that if he wants me to come back into someone's life and be a blessing, he's going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if he had me pick him up 2-3 days after I did before, just to bless him with that money, because he's already starting in his mind a testimony. Because he was telling me his testimony of how God was blessing people to give him money. Like, so, if he wants me to go back and give him a guest pass, of course, I wouldn't just pull up to his house. But, like, if he's ever in my car again, like, I already know. I made a mental note, put some guest passes in your bag, Ernest. But, so, like I said, he told me to give that money. He said he was going to provide. So now I'm like, how you going to provide, God? Because, like, I don't know what I was supposed to be doing that day, but I only had a few more hours, whatever, to Uber. And I'm like, of course, I get that $20 back. But, like, what is that going to look like? Because, like, this is already money that I was going to make anyway. So, what is that going to look like? So, I just didn't worry about it, didn't stress about it. I said, if God said he got me, then he got me. Maybe it'll be tips. Maybe it'll be in something else. So, this is where it gets funny, because when I was thinking about this story and how this testimony played out, so funny. Like, God will do it in ways that you wouldn't even think. So, I'm scrolling on Instagram after I'm done Ubering, and I see this post that was like, send this video to your homeboy so he can pay for your nails. I'm thinking, this is hilarious. Like, I just sent it jokingly because I'm like thinking like my friend wouldn't do that. So I sent it. I was like, I wear press-ons. You could just send me like $15. You know what I'm saying? And he goes, well, I ain't got no cash out. You want me to send it through whatever? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I'm thinking, okay, a little $15, a little pocket change. This man sent me $50. So, first of all, that's double what I gave to that man. And then some. And in my mind, I'm like, I was just thinking to the Lord, like, I was just playing. And I even told him, I was like, I was just playing unless you want to send it. And he sent it. And I was like, oh. And he didn't even send what I asked for. He gave more than what I gave that person, more than what God said that he was going to provide. Like, he does it in unconventional ways that you wouldn't think of, but like literally using my friend to give me money. And I'm just like, okay. And I immediately was like, thank you, Lord, because like, even though I didn't put 2 and 2 together until I started thinking about like, what could I say? Like, what could I give as my own testimony? But like, that's crazy to me, because usually I don't get money from my friends. Like, there's sometimes where I pay for things, my friends pay for things. I have like a more like a system like that. Like, we don't just flat out give each other money, but we'll make sure you straight. You ain't got no money to go out to eat. When we go out to eat, I got you. Like, that's the type of friendships that I have. And so that was really neat, and that was really nice. I was just like, okay, guys, so like, if you say you got me and you want me to bless somebody else, like, now I know you got me. Like, I already had faith. That's why I listened. That's why I was obedient. That, I'll get it back some way, either through Uber, stuff like that. But that was an interesting way where God blessed me. And then it made me be more aware of like the little things that he does. And I've been noticing a lot with my prayer time that I am more intentional with thanking God for the little things. Like, thank you for helping me find such and such when I was looking for it in my room. Thank you for when I was thinking about something, just like as a passing thought. I even started noticing like when I have passing thoughts, that God will answer it that very day. And I'll be like, I never even prayed that. I only thought that. And so it shows me that God is listening to every little thing, every little need that I have. He's going to take care of it. And it will be like things that I say in prayer that's like in passing, like, oh, I would love to do this. I would love to have this, or I love for this to happen. And then I look, and it'll be like a week later, a couple days later, the same day. And that little itty bitty thing that I thought was insignificant in my prayer, but I still said it, he'll be like, yeah, I heard you, and I took care of that for you. So like, this episode is just to remind you to be very intentional with thinking about what has God done for me. Like, what is he actively doing for me in my life? I know we love to thank God for the big, amazing things he does. Maybe he gave you a job, maybe he gave you a new place to live, maybe he gave you a raise, and that's great to thank him for that. But like, be more intentional about the little things that God is doing for you, because we often overlook that, thinking it's just a part of life. But God is very intentional. A lot of stuff that he does is not just a part of life. I know sometimes we like to underthink what God is doing because we don't want to overthink, but you got to know sometimes that God really does love you. He really does want things to go well in your life. And if he can do it in any type of way, he's going to do it because he loves us. Like, God is literally love. So it's like, he's going to show us that he hears us. He's going to show us that he sees us. He's going to show us that he only wants well for us. So you can either go in the comments. Maybe this is a self-reflection thing. Maybe this is something you can put in the comments. But just share with anyone around you. Share with me. Share with people in the comments. Like, what is something that God, or a way that God has been showing you that he loves you? What's he doing for you? Like, how is he using that love as an action towards you? And thank him for it. And I don't mean like in a shallow type of way. It's like, well, now that you bring it up to my remembrance, I guess I could thank you. But like, be more intentional with thanking him for what he does for you. I mean, of course he doesn't do it for the thanks, but like for like anyone, of course they don't do it for the thanks, but it's nice to hear it. It makes them feel like, okay, they really are thankful for the things that I do for them. And, it's better to give than to receive. And, God's always giving to us. Sometimes give a little something back to him like that. Thank you, God, for this. Because you blessed me with this, now I'm going to use this to further your kingdom. Now I'm going to use that to... And yeah, that's my sign to wrap it up. I'm just kidding, but my computer did fall on the ground because the pillow pushed it off the couch. But just be more intentional with being thankful for the little things, and that's all. And I hope you have a blessed week the same way that I have a blessed week. Have an amazing weekend, because I'm probably gonna post this like Thursday night or Friday, and I hope to see you real soon. Life has been going really great right now. I've been having less time to do a lot of things, but God has been opening doors for me, and I'm excited to see where he's going to take me and what doors he's going to bring me through. So, we'll see. Bye.